dumbest things in the world, such as not knowing how to put shapes through a kid's toy, and he's been seen doing some of the smartest things in the world, like when he answered one of the world's hardest questions in the World's Smartest Person competition. Well, today I'm gonna figure out exactly how smart Jeffy is using a chart that shows the skill of each IQ level and see if we can match one to Jeffy and see how smart he really is. Starting out with an IQ in the 60s, people at this level are usually socially inept but can still function with supervision and are entertained pretty easily. And already I can think of a few moments, such as in SML movie Jeffy's Special Easter when Jeffy tries to play with a children's toy which you take different shapes and put them through the right hole that they're supposed to go through. And when Marvin and Rosalina are supervising Jeffy, he doesn't know what he's doing, but then he pulls out a hammer and starts trying to hit it through the hole, and when Mario pulls the toy away, he starts hitting his own head. And if Mario weren't there, he would probably damage his brain. Also, in SML movie Inside Jeffy, when we see what a day in the life for him looks like, he starts his day out by being with Mario, but eventually when he's alone, he spanks his diaper for 7 hours straight with no need for any outside stimulation or entertainment, and it's only when Junior comes by that he actually starts doing normal things. So we can confirm that Jeffy at least has an IQ of 60, but what about 70? Well, people with an IQ in the 70s usually have problems with basic literacy and instructions and also require supervision. Already I can think of 2 moments that show Jeffy has this IQ level. Starting out with SML movie Jeffy's Homework, which is one of my personal favorite videos. In the episode, Goodman comes over and tells Mario that Jeffy needs to learn a bunch of things or Mario goes to jail for neglect. But when they try and teach Jeffy phonics and how to pronounce words, he literally can't understand anything. He pronounces frog as fwog, giraffe as giraffe, and somehow pronounces yo-yo as YY.
Fwog.
See, look, you're saying it fwog, but you gotta say frog.
Fwog.
Alright.
Giraffe.
No, there's no D in giraffe.
Giraffe.
No, giraffe.
Giraffe.
No, where's the D at? Show me the D.
Why?
Jesus Christ. Look, just say yo-yo.
Why?
This is simple. Yo-yo.
Why?
Just say yo-yo.
Why?
Which shows that Jeffy really does struggle with basic literacy. And in SML movie The Stain, a Brooklyn guy brings over his most prized possession, his signed Jimmy Butler jersey. And Jeffy has a cup of chocolate milk, but Marvin doesn't want him to have it because he thinks it's something else and tells Jeffy to go pour it out. And Jeffy just immediately pours the coffee all over Brooklyn guy's jersey, and Marvin gets really mad.
Daddy, what am I supposed to do with this cup of diarrhea?
I said pour it out, Jeffy. What the jersey, Jeffy?
You told me to pour it out!
I said in the sink.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
Which shows that Jeffy does have a problem with instructions. So Jeffy has an IQ of at least 70, but what about 80? Well, people with an IQ of 80 are usually problematic as it's where most violence comes from, and this is because people in this range are unable to complete simple tasks, but are still able to plot and execute some simple crimes. And I already know of so many examples for this. For example, in SML movie Jeffy Gets Framed, Junior breaks Rose's vase with her grandparents' ashes, but they blame it on Jeffy.
Jeffy did it. What?
Yeah, Jeffy did it, Jeffy did it. Yeah, Jeffy did it.
Oh, screw you guys!
That's it, Jeffy. You're grounded.
But I didn't do it!
Your friends ratted you out and said you did it, so you're coming with me.
So for the entire video, he starts committing so many acts of violence against Junior, Joseph, and Cody, including decapitating Ken, shooting Joseph's mom, which turned out to be a stunt as it was Brooklyn guy in a costume, and he really just had a salt gun, and then he even turned Chef Pee-Pee into soup. But in reality, it was Chef Pee-Pee playing all along, which just goes to show that Jeffy can plot and commit crimes. So he has an IQ of 80, and now we're starting to get to the lower average IQ of 90. So let's see if Jeffy is at least somewhat average. Having an IQ of 90 is usually the minimum for following written instructions and operating machines, and is the minimum employability for most routine jobs. And Jeffy has shown that he can do things like in SML movie Jeffy Plays Genshin Impact. Jeffy finds and downloads Genshin Impact and starts playing the game without even needing a tutorial or for anyone to help him. He also knows how to drive. As an SML movie Jeffy's speeding ticket, he's driving his dad's Camaro ZL1, which is an extremely powerful car and even controls the car when its tires spin and when he's going over 115 miles per hour and somehow manages to keep the car straight. He's also been shown to follow instructions. As in SML movie Judge Jeffy, Judge Poobie has a heart attack and has to go to the hospital, so he tells Jeffy that he has to be the judge and oversee all the cases.
Help me! Sir, I'm a doctor. I can get you to a hospital right away. But who's gonna take over your judge duties? Him. That boy. He's a genius. I trust him to make good decisions while I'm in the hospital.
And although his judgment was off, he does take all the cases for Judge Poovy until he eventually comes back at the end of the day. So he has an IQ of at least 90, but now we're getting to the average intelligence level of an IQ of 100. So let's see if Jeffy at least is at the median IQ. If you have an IQ of 100, it means you can learn from written materials, and an IQ of 105 means you're capable of repairing machines. And he does know how to read and follow instructions, as in SML movie Jeffy's permission slip, where Jackie Chu gave everyone in the class a permission slip for them to sign so they can attend the pizza party at school. And he brings it to his dad to sign, but he doesn't sign it because Jeffy's grades are terrible because he doesn't try in school. And he's also solved a Rubik's Cube in SML movie Jeffy's Rubik's Cube, and not only that, but he solved it pretty fast, which I count as repairing machines, because Rubik's Cubes are extremely hard to solve, and with the speed that Jeffy solves it at, he's very quick with his hand-eye coordination and could be a pro.
Ooh, Jeffy, it's not a Rubik's Cube?
Nope, clearly not.
Jeffy, if you're trying to solve that, those things are impossible. They're only for smart people.
Well, then I guess I am smart people.
What, Jeffy, you actually solved it?
Well, Danny, I may be slow, but I solved this hoe. And since I solved this Rubik, I'm gonna smack this pubic.
But now let's see if Jeffy could actually be considered smart, because if he has an IQ of 110, that means he's smarter than most people. And people with an IQ of 110 are known to manage one's learning from instructors and are capable of critical thinking. And already I have proof of Jeffy using critical thinking, as in SML movie Jeffy's permission slip, which I just talked about. When Marvin says he won't sign it, Jeffy goes crazy and thinks of all the different ways to get Marvin to finally sign it. He starts out by disguising himself as a delivery man and tries to get Marvin to sign the permission slip as if he were signing for a package, and then he even fakes his death and gets a Brooklyn guy in on it and makes a whole setup where he gets Rose and Marvin to believe that he's actually dead, and Brooklyn guy gives them the permission slip as the paper to sign to get Jeffy cremated.
Left.
Here he is.
Oh, poor Jeffy.
Oh, Jeffy, I'm so sorry. Is he gonna be okay?
No, he's on life support and he's brain dead, so he's basically already gone. It's dumb, but here, sign this cremation form for me.
Okay, cremation for... Wait, what?
Yeah, just sign right there next to the piece of pepperoni pizza.
What? The permission slip? Wait, did Jeffy do all this just to get this signed?
Yeah.
But then eventually he does get the paper signed by his dad when he was half asleep. He's also shown that he can learn from instructors, such as in SML movie The Film Project, when Jackie Chu tells the entire class that everyone has to make their own film project and that the winner will get a real Oscar. And Jeffy does make a film, and not only that, but he uses a green screen and editing software to make his film, just like the YouTube channel Annoying Orange. So Jeffy is actually above average intelligence, but how average is he? Let's see if he has an IQ of 120. People with an IQ of 120 are able to investigate and see things that most people can't. And already I'm thinking of SML movie Detective Jeffy. When Mario was framed as being a robber, he and Jeffy went to Footlong Bangers, and the robber shows up at the same time as them, and Mario's hat accidentally got left behind.
Some bacon.
Yeah, I'll take some bacon.
And what about some roast beef?
Yeah, I'll take some roast beef.
Okay, well, why don't you check between my legs then?
What?
Freeze everyone on the ground now!
Ah, Jeffy, run!
Put the money in the bag. Oh, but I didn't mean to do that. Sorry.
And so Marvin was convicted and goes to jail. But after Marvin was sent to prison, Jeffy becomes a detective and looks at the crime scene, even after it was looked at by many other detectives and police officers, and he still manages to find a lock of hair that no one else could see. And then he even sets up a stunt where at his own birthday party, he lured a clown to come to the party, and they see that the hair matches the clown exactly. And the clown even self-incriminates himself with all of the circumstances that Jeffy set up at his party. And that gets Marvin set free and Screwball gets sent to jail, all because of Jeffy's intelligence. And this shows that Jeffy is seriously smart, but let's see if he has an IQ of 130, which would classify him as a genius. People with an IQ of 130 are capable of synthesizing ideas and communicating them, and are smart enough to get low-level PhDs. And Jeffy's already been shown to synthesize his own ideas as in SML movie Jeffy's Homework, where Goodman comes over and tells Mario that he needs to homeschool Jeffy or he goes to jail, which I mentioned earlier. So Marvin teaches him everything he can, and then Goodman gives Jeffy his test the next day, and Jeffy says that 8 minus 4 is 8, because if the 4 is gone, then 8 is left. And then he puts it on his test, and Goodman says they came up with Jeffy's law of subtraction, and that because of this, Jeffy actually passed the test. And not only that, but he communicates the idea so perfectly to Goodman that Goodman even forgets everything that he knew about math and believes that Jeffy's law of subtraction, where if you subtract any number, it will always be the number on top because you're getting rid of the bottom number.
You take away the 4.
It equals 8.
Yeah, that's what he thinks.
Because if I cover up the 4 right here, what do you see up there?
An 8.
A goddamn 8.
Yeah, but
So we've just subtracted the 4 from this equation, correct?
I mean, you've taken it off the paper. But
Exactly. And that's subtracting it. I'm saying that your son's a genius. We've created Jeffy's law of subtraction.
Jeffy's law of subtraction.
Jeffy's law of
Oh my
subtraction means that
gosh.
if there's a top number up here that's big, okay, and we're subtracting something from it, it's always going to be this number, because this number right here, f***ing gone.
And even Jackie Chu starts teaching it in his class in SML movie Jeffy Gets Bullied, when Jackie Chu, who has also been shown to be one of the smartest people in the world in SML movie Smart Jeffy, when he competes in the world's smartest person competition, he starts teaching the class about Jeffy's law of math, such as 8 minus 4 is 8, and even 2 plus 2 is baby 2, which shows that Jeffy has an IQ of at least 130. But now for the final IQ level that can be tested properly of 140, which would classify Jeffy as a super genius, and people with an IQ of 140 are known to be capable of discovering and inventing new ideas using highly structured reasoning and can get PhDs in hard subjects. And to prove this, Jeffy made his own invention in SML movie Jeffy's Invention, where he goes through multiple iterations of trial and error to try and come up with a solution to having to use the bathroom, such as the Clampo Wiener and the Piss Pack, but eventually he comes up with the Piss Pal Sponge and gets some of the world's richest people on Shark Tank to invest in his company. But eventually he did get outed for just repurposing the Scrub Daddy.
Really interesting, because I got a cease and desist letter.
We've got one of those before.
From the Scrub Daddy. You ever see that before?
No?
So you don't see any similarities between the two?
Well, it looks like I taped Piss Pal over the box.
It does look like that, doesn't it? Did you do that?
Yeah.
So you stole it?
No, I didn't steal it. They scrub dishes with theirs and I piss on mine.
Okay.
But it still shows that he used highly structured reasoning and was smart enough to convince some of the world's richest people to invest. And we know that Jeffy could easily get a PhD in any subject, including the hardest ones, as in SML movie Smart Jeffy, he went to the world's smartest person competition and even answered some of the hardest questions, which I don't even understand what they're asking, and yet he's still able to find the correct answer in seconds.
Why is the transverse spatial extent of a photon proportional to its wavelength, which is a longitudinal quantity?
Piece of cake, chocolate cake. The answer is quite simple. In quantum mechanics, the uncertainty principle, also known as Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, is any of a variety of mathematical inequalities asserting a fundamental limit to the precision with which certain pairs of physical properties of a particle, known as complementary variables, such as position x and momentum p, can be known.
That is correct, Jeffy!
Which goes to show that Jeffy actually does have a super genius level IQ, and it could be even higher than 140, but he would need special testing for that, which we might see in a future video. But let me know down in the comments how smart you think Jeffy is. Thanks for watching, and subscribe.